There are people who want everything their way, like my way, my world, my rules, and so on and so forth. And would you say the whole world revolves around them? And they act like that when they are single, and when they get married, they bring that same attitude into their marital homes. Well, you'll be very, very miserable if you think that everything will go the way you want it in marriage. If you think that your partner will always behave the way you want him to behave in marriage. If you think that your spouse, your wife, will always behave the way you want her to behave in marriage, and see, it doesn't happen. It won't happen. But in marriage, in as much as each day comes with different challenges, as a wise woman or as a wise man, you need to choose your battles. You have to know the things to talk about and the things not to talk about. There are certain things that when they happen in your relationship and you're mature, you act like the cats. But then if you would always back to say cramai, like you will back like the dog, woo, 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 the marriage will collapse. Your marital home will be a miserable place for you. Trust me, the powers spiritually that are against marriage and the natural forces in life with human action, human attitude and everything should let you know for a fact that the very minute a man and a woman from different backgrounds come together in holy matrimony, there's bound to be friction. So what you say? It will be like and you're thinking, I mean, how could I have made the mistake of marrying this man or marrying that woman? But do you say it to them? No. You keep quiet. Sometimes your spouse will do something that is so annoying and you feel like saying something. The minute you feel like saying something and your spirit or the power of the Holy Spirit pricks you, that's Asma Bakandie, it's a no-no. Please listen to the Holy Spirit and don't just talk. Because when you are in a relationship, when you're married, you need to pick when, how you approach your partner with every issue and every crisis. You know, there are some women or some men that if you offend them in marriage, it doesn't matter where you are and who is there and who is watching. They will just come and talk to you anyway, anyhow they want. Just because they are upset. Just because things didn't go their way. There are certain women who try to control their men, or certain men who try to control their women. Like, I want it this way and I want it now. Well, it doesn't happen that way. Your husband is not your child. And your wife is not your child. Even if they were your child or your children, trust me, children don't want to be controlled. Or you can't talk to your children in some kind of way, just mama or say anything that comes into your head. When you do that, your children will either become very disrespectful of you or they won't even listen to what you were saying in the first place. So if you can't talk to your children any way, anyhow you want. How much more the man who married you, or the woman who is your life partner? You can't just talk anyhow to them. So let's say your husband offends you or your wife offends you. I'm not saying brush it under the carpet all the time, but sometimes learn to let things go. Especially if it's not something that will hurt you in the long run. If it's not something that will hurt the family in the long run. It would be act like the cats. Share the bully and keep quiet about it. And the things that are, important and need to be addressed, check the timing. You should not want to talk about the important things outside. Don't try to talk to your husband when he's angry or when you are angry. You might end up saying things or using words that will corrupt the message you're trying to deliver. Until, let's say you went to church and your husband did something and you didn't like it. Please don't try to talk to him in front of the congregation. There's an issue and he's driving or you're driving. And you know that this is something very important, something that is quite heavy. You need to wait on it. Okay? There are so many women who say, oh, my husband hardly listens to me. It's because your timing is always bad. Your timing is always wrong. When do you choose to communicate? And I'm not saying that, oh, China, when it's time to make love, then you bring up your demands or you bring up that talk. No. I'm just saying, pick a moment where he's by himself. Where he's in a good mood. Where he's a bit relaxed. And talk to him. And while you talk, mind the tone with which you talk. Because mind you, he is not your son. You are not his child, but you are partners. And so there's a tone that if you use while trying to deliver a message, the average person will be like, no, you can't talk to me like that. Or they won't even listen to you. And there's a tone that makes kings calm down, even when they are angry, even when they are disturbed, even when they are stressed. So get to know your partner, check his temperaments, and find out the right time to talk to him or her. And when you start talking, please talk undertone. Talk to them nice. Talk to them the way you would want to be spoken to if you were to be at the other side of the table. And then, above all things, try and pray even before you have that talk with him or her. It helps. And sometimes, even when you are right, let it go. Even when you are right, accept it. When your spouse blames you, when things go wrong, be the bigger person and go ahead and say sorry. Even when you know that you are the one that is right. You can't always win in marriage. You can't. If you always win in your marriage will be a very miserable place. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But even when you lose, be gracious in your losing. Even when you have to compromise, be gracious in it. You will not always win every issue, every battle in your marriage, every war with your husband or with your wife. The goal is to do things, to have that talk, to act in ways and manner that at the end of the day will not cause you to be broken apart, but will cause you to find a solution if need be. Choose your battles wisely in marriage. That is how we all cope. Sending you loads of love from London. You're from your dresser. Thank you.